There's always been a lot of doubt whether I'm big enough or tall enough or fast enough, all those things, but I know deep down what I can do. And I'm going to work as hard as I can and prove to these coaches I can play, I know what I'm doing, control what I could control, and seize the day. That's where my mindset is. My name is Brett Jones. I play center for the Minnesota Vikings. I always like to start, because being in the US, I always like to start one from Canada. And then if they ask, well, where in Canada? I usually say, oh, Saskatchewan. And they're like, oh, is it close to Toronto? I said, no. That's usually how it goes. But yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan, then it's usually gets to, I'm from Weyburn, so. It's a big deal to play in Saskatchewan, play football. There's just a real deep love and connection to the game. At the same time in Weyburn, I mean, football's still sort of relatively new.
My name is Darren Abel, and I am the head coach of the Weyburn Comprehensive Eagles. I've been the head coach for the last 25 years here in Weyburn. We got climates here that are not most, are the greatest. We played in situations right after a big snowstorm, and you have to clear off the field to be able to play the game. That's part of football in Canada. It's tough. We don't have a lot of kids playing football. You know, we don't have 60 guys, 70 guys on the sidelines. In my very first year, we were in a provincial semi-final here in Saskatchewan with 22 kids.
Growing up, that people gave a lot so kids like us could go out and have fun on the Saturdays and Fridays playing football and have practices each and every night.
Kids are coming out to play just because they love the game. I don't think they have any great aspirations of going on and playing university football or playing pro someplace. The first that I coached that went on and went beyond high school and made a name for himself is Brennan Labatt. Won the Outstanding Lineman Award in the CFL in 2013 and a Grey Cup champion with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And then after him, we had Brett Jones.
For me, coming out of high school, my whole thing was I wanted to go to school first. I wanted to keep taking all I could in school, and so when I started, they said, hey, you want to play football? I said, sure, I'll give it a try. I'll see what I can do.
And so when he first got him, he came in and he was a big kid with kind of a baby face kid. It's got to be like you say it is. Coming in, did I expect him to be an NFL player, a CFL player, let alone, or even a university athlete? I had no idea at the time. No matter how hard I try to stay, if you're pulling me just further away. Yeah.
Greg Nesbitt, defensive line coach with the Regina Rams. Started in 2003 and just retired this year. Well, how I remember it is Brett wasn't on our radar or anybody's radar. So I knew Brett played football and I knew he was playing high school football. So I go to the city final. Weyburn is playing in the city final. They had a very good team. I get there, I see this massive fire hydrant of a man, 6'2", 260, 270 in high school, and he's athletic and he's hustling. I'm thinking, oh my God, that's Brett Jones. So I said to his mom, who I've known for a long time, I said, he can play football.
In high school, Brett was a very good football player, but I don't know if that was his ultimate goal, was to play football. He was looking forward to university and getting on with his life.
Coach Abel basically said that he has no interest in playing after high school. He's going to go to pharmacy at U of S. The next step was to get our full-time coaches involved in the whole process. We talked to Brett, and Brett decides, okay, he'll give it a try. Like, I'll take you as a D lineman right now, but I know they're going to want you as an O lineman. And really, the rest is history after that. Yeah.
The Regina Rams have a great history. We have a lot of great players. Brendan Labatt, Jason Claremont. During my time, we had guys like Akeem Hicks and Stephon Charles, and we definitely benefited probably from going against each other. Once I met Akeem, he was just such an imposing man. Nobody really could match him physically in the CIS or in the Cam West at the time. So to go against him each and every day at practice was...
Well, it was definitely loud, I'll tell you that.
Guys over here, up to 19.
Probably the reason why I'm here today is that he gave me the confidence to know I could play against somebody who would become one of the best in the NFL.
Brett by far was the only guy that could actually handle him. But Brett had a unique ability to play low and create power. And when he punched, he could neutralize a lot of that power. Coming out of these small towns, you know, there's some big old boys. You don't grow up in this country without being tough. You don't grow up in rural Saskatchewan without being tough. And these kids that come out of these programs, they're tough kids. You just got to be able to go find them. You know?
Nowhere did I have any aspirations that, hey, maybe I could play professionally, but I had an opportunity to go to school. I could have went to professional school. I was trying to be a doctor, and I never got in. So, I mean, it was a scary time in my life. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I'm a pretty measured person, so I usually have a plan, and I didn't really have a plan, but growing up, my dad had always said, when you got a long time, you can work. You'd only get to get this opportunity once, and go make the most of it and just see what happens.
Does your mother tell you things?
I'd told teams I'm not gonna, if I get into medical school, I'm no longer gonna play football, so that affected probably where I got drafted, but I ended up going as, I think, the 16th pick in the second round, so I couldn't have went to a better place in the Calgary Stampeders. It's such a great organization. I'm just glad I made that choice to go play pro sports.
Great mistake.
The people in town, they love him, they love his story. Small town kid making good, you know, and we thought him going off and playing for the Calgary Stampeders was something. And he did a wonderful job there, winning a Grey Cup with Calgary.
Sometimes you get caught up in the X's and O's and things like that, and the numbers in pro sports, but that championship in Calgary is probably one of my best memories I have. Mainly because it's about the people you played with and the people that coached you and things like that.
I think as a high school coach, I don't think you ever dream of your kids going and having that kind of success.
Because, you know, just such a small percentage of kids make it out of these programs. So we don't have the scholarships. So you got to work, you got to live, and you got to pay to live. They just love the game, and I think it's more of a passion for the sport. And if the opportunity comes, they will certainly take advantage of it.
They believed in me and gave me an opportunity, because at the end of the day, that's what football's about. It's about an opportunity and making the most of that opportunity.
But to be able to go off to the big show in the NFL.
Well, I mean, the NFL is always looking for the best players. And if you're one of those players, you'll find your way. Example, Akeem Hicks drafted third round by New Orleans. Go back to, you know, Brett, you know, Rookie of the Year with Calgary, Offensive Lineman of the Year with Calgary, gets a tryout and makes it in the NFL. So
something that not a whole lot of Canadian kids get an opportunity to, and here's one of our own.
My time in New York was filled with great people, and just to think back at those games I got to start and play and contribute, those mean a lot to me, because I mean, it's always difficult in the NFL to get on the field each and every week. But in the NFL, it's always, you want to be where you're wanted. So the Minnesota Vikings were willing to trade for me.
I left your house this morning at 9:15.
One of the coolest things I've got to do is move away from Weyburn to see what makes Weyburn special, what makes Saskatchewan special, and then what makes all the other places you live special. So coming from New York, the hustle and bustle, the nonstop that's always lit up, things like that I'd never experienced. And then the one thing that was sort of calming was about when I came to Minnesota is how similar it is to being back home.
I saw the constellation.
All the people are very similar, more laid back. They're not honking at you at every single intersection. That part was really cool to get to come to a place that feels like home. The Minnesota Vikings, it's a great organization first and foremost. That the Vikings are a great team to play for. It's a great ownership group. There's a great support staff and things like that. Yeah, I was nervous, but at the same time, I knew what I could do, and I could learn the offense in a short period of time, and I was going to go out and execute. Starts in practice, starts in the meeting room, starts in the weight room, so you got to be ready to go. When your time comes and you get the chance to play, you got to play well. Because as you know, every Sunday you're auditioning for all the other 31 teams. So, you know, your time in the NFL is limited, and you got to make the most of each and every snap.
And fall in one cloud at a time. Well, that night in Toronto.
He's not your prototypical offensive lineman. And so he's always fighting against the coaches or the general managers who thinks he's too small, he can't do it.
His determination, his work ethic, his intelligence. I think Brett Jones was just Brett Jones.
Parents gonna replace her with get a younger puppy that's great.
Wait, I'm still a wait. No sleep, caffeine on it.
Oh, catch.
I said wait, I'm still a wait. 25, 8, no time for
Hey, Canada.
Wait,
Hey, check it out. We got the world's strongest man right here. This the world's strongest man right here.
no time for mistakes.
For me personally, I think that I'd like to definitely get on the field more, but that's always something that as a professional, as an athlete, that's what you're always striving to do. I've torn my MCL before, and so I tore it on the other leg the other day, so. Yeah, this is probably it for the year. You know, just the hours afterwards, it just was sort of disappointment.
He's had this injury before. He's a great kid. His teammates love him. I was really sorry to see that happen to him the other day at practice, but great kid. He actually said he's going to come out and help any way he can, be out here, script. He'll break down film. He loves football, and we love him. Okay?
Just the feeling that, you know, I'd worked to get to this point, and whether or not I got to play on Sunday, you never know, but I was really hoping I could get in there. I don't know, injury's a part of the everyday NFL life. I think that players play and coaches coach, and that's what they got to do. They got to just keep doing their job. My other knee didn't need surgery, so I hope for the best for this one. And, you know, I'll just attack the rehab like I did before, and I know that I can play in this league, and I know I can contribute. It just was unfortunate for me, so they feel bad, but at the same time, they all wish the best for you. But they have a job to do, and they got a job on Sunday to go beat the Denver Broncos this week or whoever the opponent is. So, yeah, they care, but at the same time, they got a job to do, and I appreciate that.
The Minnesota Vikings off the big W and the big D. You can react however you want. We have a game this weekend. The Vikings are very, very good this year on many levels. With all that said, you do not lose a home game to a team that is led by Brandon Allen. End of story.
people here who grow up loving the Minnesota Vikings, they really cherish the team, they're passionate about the team. They're vocal about the team. You listen to the radio, they're always talking about the Vikings and things like that. So very similar to the people that grow up loving the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So definitely it's just a very similar place, and it feels a lot like home. So. Your time away, you gain a greater appreciation for the game. You miss it. And I think it's that miss and that hunger and that desire, that's what fuels you to be better. It's easy to sort of dig yourself into a hole. I think that you can get into that rut of why me, why is this occurring, but I won't let that happen.
The Brandon Allen Road era begins shortly. Seven and 3 Vikings against the 3-6 Denver Broncos. The referee is Clay Martin. He is at center field with the assembled captains for each team, and we are about set to battle Week 11 in the National Football League. Late in the first quarter, 3-0 Denver. Allen takes the snap, 7-step drop, passes, center of the end zone, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Denver Broncos. Lindsey takes it. He'll hand it to Sutton, who's looking to pass. And Cortland Sutton throws right to Tim Patrick, and he caught it at the 31. Another spectacular catch by these Broncos. 1st and 5 from the 25. Cousins play action. Here's the blitz, and he's sacked, and the ball came out, and Denver got the ball. And this Sunday is colored in orange and blue. Cousins sacked for a 19th time this season, twice today.
Whether or not I got the dress or whatever, put a jersey on, that Sunday it didn't matter. That I just worry about what I can control, and I just keep pushing and just keep going. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but nothing's been easy so far. So.
2nd and goal from the 2. Handoff Dalvin, looks to get the right edge. 5, 4, 3, 2. Touchdown! Dalvin Cook. And it's 23-13 Denver.
As much as the injury sucks, I'm excited for the process. This is the NFL, and the opportunity is the one in front of you.
3rd and 2. They're going to fake a handoff to Cook. Cousins boots out to the left, passes to Diggs. Caught! 15! 5! Touchdown! A 54-yard touchdown to Stephon Diggs. And it's 23-19 Denver. McManus, 6-year from Temple, is 3 of 3 today on field goals. Kick it! No good! 1st and 10 from Denver's 32. Cousins under center, play action. Bootlegs out to the left, looking to the left, firing, caught, Rudolph, 10, 5, touchdown! And the Vikings have taken the lead!
Gun never run, mama, look what I become. I'm the one. Did you ever think you would make it?
3rd and goal from the 4. 27-23 Minnesota. Fant wide right. Cortland Sutton inside slot left. This is for all the money.
I know this life meant for me.
There's always been a lot of doubt whether I'm big enough or tall enough or fast enough. I know deep down what I can do, and that's how I've been able to, make a career in the NFL and in the CFL, that I was just going to work as hard as I could and control what I could control. And I have a great opportunity. I'm still on a team. I'm still a part of the 53-man roster of the Minnesota Vikings. Whenever I get my next opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it.
Allen, shotgun, snap. It's going to fade right.
That's a push-off.
And the Minnesota Vikings have beaten the Denver Broncos as the Vikings flood the field. They head into the bye with
people like Brennan Labatt and Brett have set great examples for our kids. And they realize that there is a possibility of going off and playing pro ball.
I think he has challenged that stereotype of what an O-lineman has to be. Well, I don't think his season's done. I think he'll surprise you.